Now on to our fifth match. We're currently 4-0 now, so we've had a pretty good run so far. We're kind of hoping that things will keep going at this point to try and, push through for a good chance at top 8. And we're going to mulligan this hand. It's very reactive. This is much better. We're going to bottom the Oracle. So the reason this is better is, look, we have a Street Wraith as a redraw. We have a Time Walk as a redraw and possibly a land drop. We've got a Gush and we have a protection spell in Daze. We've got to draw off the top of our library from here to try and, well, mostly draw off the top of our library from here to try and get the ball going. But I think this is just, it's a considerably better hand than our first one. The first one just cast a couple of counter spells and then just had nothing else going on. This has less protection, but I think is going to prove to be a better proactive hand. There could be an argument to keep the Oracle in case of drawing Demonic Consultation or even Demonic Tutor, but I just don't think it's good enough. So with this hand, I think we're just going to go land go. We're not in a... I don't think we're in a rush to cycle the Street Wraith without knowing what opponent's on. Now it looks like opponent here is probably just checking MTG Goldfish to see what he thinks we're on. To see if he can find any reference to a username. If he does, he'd probably see two decks. One's a Grixis Control Brew and one is Doomsday, so he might not assume too much. And so he's going to Gitaxian Probe, and straight away he's going to know that we're on Doomsday. The only real giveaway card here is the Street Wraith. Without the Street Wraith, this could just as easily be a Xerox deck. And opponent's going Underground Sea. Deathrite Shaman telling us he's most likely on Bug Control. Ponder was a nice draw. If he's on Bug Control, yeah, we want the basic island. Just to dodge what I feel is likely to be an upcoming Wasteland. And I think we want to take Preordain and probably a land as well. We're going to expect to see a Wasteland at some point here. And so I think the land is probably going to be necessary for us long term. Opponent's not going to play into our Daze. And our reason to fetch here is to make our Preordain better, so we can just make sure that both the cards that we Preordain away are going to stay on the bottom of our library. And we're happy to fetch the Underground Sea now that we have a second one. There might be an incentive to cycle the Wraith, but we might also want to draw both cards that we find off the Preordain. An opponent looks like he's maybe wanting to Assassin's Trophy, which I think we're okay with. And we're taking a third black source just to allow us to cast the Doomsday straight off the top. And now he's going to trophy. No? Okay. Still no trophy. Okay, and it turns out they're actually on 4-color control. So 4-color control is probably a little harder for us than Bug. There we go, there's the Leovold. So we might just want to cycle the Street Wraith here and try and find, like, I guess a Force of Will. So we hit a Doomsday instead. And I think unfortunately, yeah, so we're choosing to Gush here. And it's just, unfortunately, that's going to set us back a little bit too far, I think. I think we were incentivized to use the Gush into the Leovold to try and find a way to fight, but it's a little bit tricky for us. Because if we cast our Doomsday next turn, casting Doomsday doesn't work out terribly well with us. He's got a 2-turn clock on us. And we really strongly need to be able to try and win in the same turn, which the Leovold's a problem. The Leovold's a big problem. Chain of Vapor's a really nice draw here. So our chain is we're going to use the chain in his end step to try and remove the Leovold. And instead we get Force of Will. So unfortunately Force means this game is very likely over. I guess what our best draw would be for next turn would be if we can successfully Chain of Vapor the Leovold and then draw something like... actually, like even Doomsday off the top would probably still let us win from this position. So we're not out of it yet, thanks to the Chain. Chain would have to resolve, draw Doomsday, and then we can preordain into Gush. And then Gush would let us try and resolve our Oracle from there. So that's what a game plan kind of has to be here. We have to try and dodge some counter magic along the way and like draw perfect. And they're down to 2 cards in hand, so we're in with a chance. Oh, we definitely should have chained there. That was a big mistake. Because I think what can happen here... So opponent can't Deathrite Shaman now, but we'll go to... I'm going to go to 9, double Deathrite Shaman activation will... 9 down to 4. Double Deathrite kills us. So, look, we punted this match away, unfortunately, with the Chain of Vapor. The Brainstorm might have actually been a reasonable way for us to draw into our, like, find the pieces for our combo. I guess we do have one other possibility here. Our other possibility is drawing, like brainstorming into Oracle Consultation. This opponent will draw a card off the Leovold trigger. Assassin's Trophy is actually fine, so we'll float a blue. Like, it's not ideal. We're still short on black mana. We're out of basics to fetch up. And Flusterstorm. So, I mean, theoretically we could have beaten the Flusterstorm there. Actually, no, we couldn't have, could we? Because he can pay for our days. So never mind, that was wrong. Not what we did, but just like what I mentioned there. I don't think we were able to achieve it. So once again, we're going to board in Fluster and Karakas, nothing else, and board out Vamp Tutor and Street Wraith. Necro's a really good game plan in this matchup. It bypasses Leovold and lets us draw about 1 billion cards. Try to assemble a combo in whatever way we possibly can. And Karakas is just to help us keep the Leovold off the board. I think we mull this. And this is a really uncomfortable hand for us to try and keep. I wonder if maybe we should have mulled to 5. Going to 5 almost certainly would have meant that we wouldn't win. But we might have been better than what this hand offers. And what we kind of want to do right now is hope that our opponent taps out at some point soon. That we draw a blue card and then we can do something like, I don't know, like Doomsday with Forced Days backup. If he plays a Leovold, we're actually not going to fight over it. We're just going to Karakas. Okay. And so we now have the ability to Doomsday with Karakas, Force, and Days. Force of Negation. So we get to Daze the Force of Negation. And from memory, opponent Mindbreak traps here. Oh no, they force, okay. And so here's the Mindbreak trap. So there was actually no way for us to play around this, unfortunately. They were always going to get to Mindbreak trap us. And them just always being able to Mindbreak trap us it's just a problem. Wasteland's fine. We're a long way behind at the moment. And here they do something that's, I think, quite clever. So they're going to Mystical Sanctuary. They're going to put their Force of Negation back on top of their library. They're going to draw it off the Leovold trigger. And now we can't cast our Gush. As they can actually just Force of Negation it. Third Underground Sea is nice in that it lets us hard cast our Doomsday now. And here I think we're basically... I think he just gets to hold up his Force of Negation for as long as he wants now. I guess he could pitch his Leovold. And our out from here becomes drawing Consultation and a protection spell. And Wrenn and 6 actually is just going to seal the game up for us. So that's unfortunately our first loss for the day.